You got my mic on, right?
No, when I go over there, I'll have it on.
Okay. Oh, so I gotta,
You're gonna be live anyway.
right.
Okay, you're live.
Well, folks, it's an unusual day here at former KUHS TV. And I don't know where Henry went, but my name's Rob Mullins, and I'm here to announce the new name of the network is KROB. Yeah, baby, K-Rob. All Rob, all the time. We got some Rob Mullins at the top of the hour. We got some Rob Zombie in the middle of the hour, and followed by more Rob Mullins after that. What more could you want from KROB? Oh, wait a minute. No. Could it be? I think Henry has returned. Is that you, Henry?
That's right. I'm
Hey.
on live and in living color. So I tell you what, KROB, huh?
I like that. It's got a nice ring to it. KROB.
It's nice to have you back, Rob. You know, you always bring the fun stuff here. You know, I always say this. You always bring the laughter. We were talking about ice.
Right.
But which ice were we talking about?
Ice Ice Baby.
Yes.
You know,
Ice
that guy's
Cube.
name, you know, he had a wild actual name. It was like Michael Der Linder Vanderpunker. Like his, you know, Vanilla Ice, his name was like this really long thing. But there's a lot of different kinds of ice out there. There's crushed ice.
Crushed ice.
There's cubed ice. There's Ice Ice Baby. There's iced tea. There's, you know, all kinds of ice.
Some guy put up there on social media,
Mm.
ice is over there off of Federal and 39th Avenue or something like that.
Mm.
And I says, well, I don't need no ice right now. I've got enough ice to make me enough drinks for
You'll
the
get through the entire evening, you know. But it's just, it's a crazy time to be alive, which I think is part of the point of what you're saying. And, you know, I never like to come on a show and talk about the politics and stuff. And
Well, this isn't politics. This is disruption of everybody.
society.
Jesus.
Well, but it's...
You've been around a long time. We've never seen nothing like this.
Well, it's gotten kind of crazy because, you know, when I was a really young kid playing music, and now it's Black History Month. We're here at, like, I think it's February 24th, 3 weeks into Black History Month, and the younger people now look at me and they think I don't know anything about black culture. I've never met any black people. I'm a white guy over 60, so therefore I don't know what I'm talking about. And what they don't realize is that the Denver Public Schools had a program where you could try out for these all-star bands and travel across the nation. And I did that when I was 15 and 16 and 17. And you know what, man? There was no racial thing in jazz. Like, we would show up to work with this great trumpet player named Clark Terry. And Clark was, you know, post-Dizzy Gillespie era trumpet player, flugelhorn player. He was great. And then, you know, my drum teacher that I had from the time I was 9 years old, Bill Douglas in LA, he was a black guy. He was the president of the Musicians Union. And he had an all-black trio. And he would have me, the white kid, come to the Holiday Inn with the, and that was with the police, because when you're 12, you can't be at the Holiday Inn bar, right? But
That was interesting.
no, it's just, I think if you want to find unity, it's out there to find it. And I've always found it through music, because every race, creed, and color is always welcome in music. Except the thing I don't figure out is, like, what's going on with Beyonce's hair?
I can't understand it. And then she went over to country, right?
Well, that's
She's
the
country now.
Country Carter.
I can't believe
Carter.
you get me talking like this. Is this part of your script?
Yeah, it's the, well, actually, for those of you who don't know, Henry's got like a desk, you know, the desk thing that sits on your desk, and it's got this huge map of Russia and China. And then there by Russia, it's Putin, and Putin is like smoking a cigar, and then the Chinese one, it says they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. You never know, but no, man, I don't ever show up here with a script about anything. But
No, he
I'm
don't. We're just having fun, Rob.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
we always do.
We always have a great time. But it is a crazy time to be alive because you see, and I see this all the time. Like, let's take for example the Grammys just happened, right? Grammys were like February 2nd. So I've been a voting member at the Recording Academy more than 20 years, 25 years this year. I'm a Grammy nominee from before that. And I was watching the Grammys, and the best part of the Grammys to me is the part that's never fully televised. It's called the pre-show.
Right.
And it's on the Grammy website.
Right.
And they had frickin' Bella Fleck playing Rhapsody in Blue on the banjo.
Jesus.
And they had jazz big band, and they had Herbie Hancock and Stevie Wonder, and they had who's the Jacob Collier, the kid from the UK that's so brilliant. All this amazing stuff, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching going,
holy
man, this is so good. But then you get the really corporatized stuff that happens later. You get the Taylor Swifty stuff, and you get the Beyonce, and you get the, who was the kid, Will Smith's kid with the giant head, with the, he put like a Transylvanian castle on his head. And so I'm posting about this and saying, you know, I'm proud to be a member of the Recording Academy, the Grammy organization. I think it's been a great thing for me, and I found all these positive things to like about the Grammys, and when it came to their speeches, I just mute the sound. And I go get some popcorn. I don't want to hear the speech. Why would I want to hear the speech? It's supposed to be about the music.
Not long drawn out.
So, but the crazy thing is that all of a sudden then, the amount of haters that got on my post
Can you believe that?
Unbelievable. And I wrote a pretty long post. I'll get my phone and I'll read you the stats on it. But I was getting these messages on Facebook Messenger, which I hate. Complete strangers. People I've never heard of. I don't know their name. And they're saying stuff like, "You're a disgrace to the music business. How dare you support the Grammys? And I'm trying to comment on your post, and you've locked me out, and you suck." And I'm just going, I didn't have anything to do with that. But the amount of vitriol that's out there in internet land, it's way worse than it ever was.
And I would agree with you on that one.
I mean,
I've got
do
to
you feel
show
that?
you something
Yeah.
here that's incredible.
Oh,
Talk
so
about vitriol. Like
so it's a guy with an AK-47, and he's going to take you out.
Yes. So it's like I get it all the time because
Has he shown up here?
Well, we've got it all guarded here, and we know what's, you know, we've got cameras all over. We know who's walking in the building.
Folks, you didn't see that picture. That guy is fully armed and dangerous. He's like ready to go. He's ready to go.
He says, I'm a real redneck MFer, and I'll come and find it. It's like I get so much stuff, and I post funny stuff.
Right.
And it really changes and turns because of what you say. This vitriol stuff that you can get from just a small little post.
Well, mine wasn't a small one.
Yours is just
mine was huge. I mean, it was 17,000 something people on this post, and I was watching it just go. Like, I was thinking, man, I wish it was downloads of my songs instead of just all that stuff. It was 17,770 something, and I'm looking at the stats on Facebook going, wow, this is amazing. But could all of us just be nice? Can we just be nice, and can we
all just get along?
Get along. Yeah, that's what they used to say when we were young, right? Just let's get along with each other.
Now this is what's funny. Like I was showing you that right now. Now, here's the thing. Some of them are just funny posts.
Right.
I put up there, you know, like, you really want some gangs? Go to where the Bloods and Crips are at. Head into Compton and see how you feel as I.
Yeah, but you give bad advice like, if you're a white guy over 60, drive your Mercedes to Nickerson Gardens that's in Compton. Go Saturday night around midnight and have lots of money and jewelry with you.
That's to you and I, that's funny, right? And that's the kind of stuff I post. It's funny stuff, and I always say something funny. And it just
but you don't know you can't tell how smart or dumb your audience is.
Yes.
Right? Because there'll be some people that are your sincere followers that'll say, well, I always take Henry's recommendations, let's drive down there. Then the next person you hear from is their grandkids going, the funeral is going to be Tuesday at noon. I mean,
Just remember, I'm not sure who will give my
your eulogy. Oh, I'm doing it.
You're doing it.
Yeah.
What are some of the things you're gonna say?
Well,
Come on, no, be
gonna,
cool, be cool.
No,
never mind.
No, you've already got Putin and Xi on your little desk map here. I'm gonna say Henry can't afford a tombstone the size of all the comments that we've.
It'll all be in digital format on his tombstone.
Yeah, it'll just have like a rolling kiosk.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and a QR code. So if you want like the whole history of Henry, you have to hold your phone up to the tombstone.
I finally put a QR code because everybody said, "How do I get on your show? How do I listen to?" I've made it the most easiest. Just QR code. You're into our app.
Right.
How do I do it?
Right.
Well, let me start over.
Yeah, it's like, I've told the story a couple times, so tell it again because it's such a easy story. I found out about this station just on Facebook because you were online. This was already been 5 years ago.
With all the push notifications that we
and there I just see there'd be a post in my feed that says, "Hey, I'm Henry and I'm on the stream and we've broken this big, this pop band, BTS from South Korea, and we're doing music and we're building a studio and we're going great." And I was like, man, this sounds like something. So here's how hard it was, you guys, for me to get on the show. I just sent Henry a Facebook Messenger message and I said, "Man, this is cool. Can I be on your show?" And he was like, "Yeah, why not?" And you didn't really even know anything about me.
Oh yeah, I do. Come on, Rob.
Looked me up.
Come on, you're making it sound a little sensational.
Well, it was. The point is, it's not that hard. And Saturday I'm doing a workshop at 3:30 at the Muse, and it's going to be about these very kind of things for musicians because
how to push your product.
Well, yeah, but how to also just start using all these tools that are out there that are available, and that was not a hard thing for me to do. But I know some people would sit there and they go like, "Oh, well, I didn't know if I could ever message Henry. He looks so important and the station's so big."
Yeah.
So you have to have the personal confidence.
Right.
Or on your team, which I'll discuss how to build a team to do your marketing.
And that's what we do. We have our team for the marketing.
Yeah.
Everybody says, "He's doing it all." No, I'm not doing it all. We've been using AI too. It's like,
right.
It creates the most awesome commercials now.
Right.
I can even make it stutter because this one voice comes out saying.
And he used to have to use a drunk homeless guy at 116th in Washington to get the stuttering in. Actually, you brought him in, you sampled him, and now you have
I did
AI.
sample him. Yeah, this is my AI.
Well, Eduardo.
Let me tell you.
Let's get Eduardo in there.
No, they recorded him. Sorry.
But the team building thing and building the confidence of young players and people trying to do something in their business. I mean, I'm here to help. That's what I'm trying to do. Last year,
and you do a good, really good job. I mean, I like to see when you go to the Dazzles. And I like to see when you move around. There was one you did down south in Inglewood.
Yeah.
And I couldn't make it, but somebody went in our place and they were sitting right up front. But the only thing I have to say about you went a little too fast on your video.
Oh, the video.
Yeah, just.
Oh, the standing ovation video.
You gotta just hold it there. Let us see. So you went so quick. You're like, vroom, vroom. I go, come on, Rob, slow down.
Yeah.
I was even stopping it just so I can get through.
Well, see, I get a lot of flack for things that I say too, because what comes to my mind right there is that I did the thing really fast in case anybody in the wheelchairs fell down and died during the ovation. Because we try and have at my age.
Oh Lord!
But see, I can't say that kind of stuff without somebody taking an offense.
And see, Rob is real good about his concerts. I mean, he has the oxygen at the front door,
wheelchair ramp.
He's got everything. He's got.
You get a CD and a free Depends.
And that's what's nice about it. Yeah, and then
you can depend on Rob Mullins.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, but when I was young learning this stuff, and you too, you're a self-made man, kind of like I am. You have to go into every situation and think, what can I do to elevate my project or my band or my
anything that you're doing
idea? And it's any field that you're in, you have to go into it with certain principles that really apply to all kinds of jobs and all kinds of marketing. So at 3:30 Saturday at the Muse, I'll be making a presentation. I'm calling it 40 Years of Knowledge in 90 Minutes.
In 90 minutes, but
yeah, and people will be able to
and
ask
all your
me
keynotes,
questions.
all the keynotes that Rob will bring you. I've watched you too. You and I kind of like are the same thing. We're older, but we know how to use all the tools available to us.
Right.
I call this my my mini iPad, because it's just with the phone capability.
Oh,
but overall, these
phones
things
are amazing.
Yes, extremely amazing. Then you got your laptop, which is a MacBook Pro.
That's what that is.
And that's some good stuff for doing music, all the other stuff. And I would recommend that.
Video editing.
Video editing.
Well, AI is taken over a lot of things, and there's always going to be, whenever there's something revolutionary coming down the pike, there's always going to be great things about it, and there's going to be horrible things about it.
So I got to ask you something, Rob. We're going to do something kind of incredible. We may do it this weekend.
Okay.
And I'm not sure how it's going to flow or not. But we're going to talk to Donald Trump and his Vice President Vance and maybe one other live.
Okay.
But it's going to be a spoof.
Oh.
So we're going to attempt that. And
so you're going to use a fake Trump and a
no, it's going to be real,
Trump?
but it's just good, like they do on the late night shows. Do clips and you talk to them, they make their answer up there, You see what I was getting on this really small one, and I showed you what happened there.
Yeah.
I'm just asking you, what do you think?
Well, what I think is that
Lock up all the doors, have guns ready, have.
No, I mean, well, here's the deal. It's like you can have all the fun that you want to have, but there are certain people you don't want to mess with. The number one being the President of the United States, because what's going on now is truly incredible. So I wouldn't take the risk, but who did take the risk and did great with it? There's a comedy show out there on the internet called Kill Tony. And if you haven't seen Kill Tony and you watched the whole thing going down with Trump and with Biden, they had
they did these spoofs and stuff.
Yeah, they had a guy there as Biden, and they had a guy there as Trump, and then they were set up in a panel style across from S-Kickin' Country Bar. So their scout would go over there and they go with people from the country bar
and bring them in.
And bring them in to talk to Donald Trump and Joe Biden. We were both fake, right? That, I think, that was about 40 minutes long. It was the hardest I'd laughed in years. But that's a professional
Colbert
comedy
does
show.
it too at night.
Colbert
Oh
does.
my God.
Some of those things.
His lawyers are always legal.
They're always busy.
Yeah, they're.
The busier, if you're looking at a show and the busiest person is not the audience leader and it's the lawyer, then you got some problems there.
And see, I got the jokes up there, but they're joke posts, and a lot of people don't quite see the joke.
Well, some of them aren't funny.
Yeah.
Like your jokes are always bad.
I know, they're horrible.
They're terrible. You need
Okay,
to
so
come to
after
my comedy class. That's on Thursdays. That's not on Saturdays.
After the Super Bowl, okay, so I posted this thing up. It showed, what's her name? Taylor Swift. And all
did you see that meme where it says, I don't know who Taylor Swift is, but I think he's really fast?
We had all her boyfriends up there.
Oh.
And then it had Kelsey at the very
Surprised
bottom.
they all fit on one screen.
14 of them. And then the very end one was Kelsey. And they were all about the losers that she, and nobody really got it.
Well,
and I caught so much heck from almost all women.
Oh, yeah.
All women.
Yeah.
What kind of post is this? What do you mean by this? Well, they didn't get it, that he was a loser of the game and she's going to write a song about him.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was it's funny because I was sitting there and I was watching the game go along, and I said to my friend I was with, I said, I think Taylor Swift has a cocktail napkin in her private box there, and she's writing the lyrics to the breakup song.
That's what this post is about.
That's what it was about.
And I caught I pulled it down.
You had to.
Yeah, these women, they don't threaten you with guns. They'll wait for you out in the parking lot.
Well, and I saw a meme today where a guy was like, why is it that my wife can't remember when she plugged her curling iron in, but she remembers exactly what I said on March the 3rd, 1983 at 3:21 p.m. She can't remember when she plugged her curling iron in.
And these are the things that really go on. So all these posts, like, what Rob does, you know, he's going to give his spiel of 40 years into how
90
short?
minutes.
90 minutes.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm going to talk really fast.
Sold it to you.
Well, you know, experience is, they say it's the greatest teacher, but I've worked within the college framework, you know, graduate school level. I've taught college, and I want everybody to know that's in college or a college teacher that might be listening. I'm not trying to cancel your marketing class. I'm not trying to cancel your, you know, your bands, and I'm not a threat to anybody, because I'm supplemental education.
I like that.
You know, I'm not replacemental education unless, you know, you hire me to do that. But everybody can learn from people that are out there in the field, living their life, going around to different countries. I've been to all these countries. I've been on Warner Brothers Records 3 times in my career. I've been on 2 indie deals. I know the law, I know the contracts, I know the way that you can get screwed and how to protect yourself. I know how to market an indie project, how to build a following. And I really learned all of that just by leaving my house. It sounds dumb. You have to leave your house.
Yeah, get out there.
You have to go out to the jam sessions. Like tonight, I know on Monday night, they're having a jam session at the Muse. They got a grant to do that on Mondays, which is, you know, that's great for Pete and Claire, and they do a great job. And you know, one of the reasons I like that venue is I did an all-star Brazilian concert there last year, and they, not only are they really nice people, but the venue has a fantastic piano, a real piano.
And somebody who knows how to tune it.
Someone that knows how to tune it.
I think it's House Piano Company.
And yeah, and then they don't, it's, you know, they don't sell alcohol there. It is just a listening room.
So I have to sneak my own alcohol.
Just be drunk when you get there. I mean,
I did last time. They threw me out.
Well, you didn't, like you said, you didn't make it to the Miami.
I don't even drink.
I saw you on Hampton at about midnight walking around in a hoodie, but I didn't know if I should pick you up or not. I just called ice. I called vanilla ice.
They showed up. Oh, it's Henry.
No, it's Henry. Just let him go back to Northglenn. But I'm excited about the workshop part of it, because everybody deserves a chance out there, and everybody should come to this thing. It's only $15 for students.
Can I ask you a question? Now, I've heard this before, just like I was telling you about some of these posts I put up there, just jokes, and I repost other people's stuff. Everybody's like, you motherfucker, you son of a... Is good promotion as well as bad promotion still good for you?
No. I understand what you're saying. They always used to say, I think the phrase was,
it
doesn't matter if it's good or bad, all publicity is good.
Good.
Right, doesn't matter if it's good publicity or here's how it goes. Doesn't matter if it's good publicity or bad publicity, as long as people are talking about you.
Yes.
Right, and I don't know that that really works the same
You know,
now.
it does and it doesn't.
Okay.
Like what I was showing you, it doesn't.
Right.
That's bad publicity, right?
Right, that's not so good. But what's strange about it is the ratios of the negative in the last 10 years, because, you know, I adopted the internet early. You did too. You're a computer whiz with AI and all this stuff. We've evolved with it. But the amount of negative people is 10 times as many.
What do you think? What's going on here?
Well, there's a couple of reasons. One is when Steve Jobs invented the smartphone and put that on the market in 2007. Now, that's a gateway to a whole new world of great adventures, but the way that those companies have handled it and the way that they market it to everybody, and I say in the music field, for example, what Apple did is they said, you don't need a producer, you don't need a band, all you need is us, Apple. And GarageBand, you don't even have to be in your garage. We'll build you a simulated garage.
And it's nice.
Oh, and you can't play the drums now, we'll give you drummer. Oh, you can't sing on tune, we'll give you auto-tune. You don't know how to play the bass, we'll give you bass man. And you isolate people into these little things where they keep you online. Like their purpose is for you to never stop looking at the screen.
Right.
And it's very unhealthy.
Right.
And so the segments that have suffered from that, and I brought you a graph because I knew we'd talk about this. The areas that have suffered because of this phone addiction is family.
That's right.
Friends.
That's right.
Bars and restaurants, sports, and church. Now, all of those things, if you go back into the like 1950s or so, You've got family is right up there at the top. Physical activity right up there at the top. Going to a bar and a restaurant. Man, you know, that's what we did. I played in bars and restaurants. I met all of my friends and fans, people that are still with me to the 80s. I've personally met them.
And that's another thing about promotion and knowing people. It's personal to be, I can't get that right.
It's personal to be in person.
That's right.
You have to
go there and
you have
say
to
hello,
leave, I just
talk
say
to them.
you have to leave your house. And you know, when communities started being threatened and the nuclear family started getting threatened, that was after 2007, because all of a sudden, if you get all the boys addicted to these video games,
they stay stuck in that.
They're stuck in that world,
and the women are out.
And then the girls. Well, a lot of the girls are not leaving their house. They're just talking to other girls about what should I wear because I'm so insecure. And
what should I wear to the front room?
Yeah, what do I wear from here to the? I'm not leaving my room. You know, and those kinds of weird punishments I see. It's kind of like the hunger strike in a jail. You know, it's like, oh, I've decided.
The hunger strike.
Yeah,
no, it's real.
These guys get in jail and they're like, oh, I can't believe how unjust it is. I'm not going to eat. And then if I was the prison guard, I'd say, all right, well, if you don't eat, it says statistically you'll be dead in 18 days. Why don't we just kill you? Then
it's over with.
Then it's done. You know, because you can make a point, but the way that you make your point is by doing something positive, not by doing negative things, not by organizing against things and being dramatic, because dramatic behavior has its place, and that's in the theater. It's in a movie.
I always say this.
And, you know, it's not supposed to be, you know, for me, these are just my opinions, so, you know, send all the hate mail to Henry, because I'm on his show. It's all his fault.
And I always say this, do that again for the drama class.
Right.
You know, if somebody's really getting out of, you know,
everything has a place, and what I, you know, started noticing in the last few years is that people are really scared to drive now. It used to be a thing where people would come to the club gigs, and I remember in Huntington Beach, I had a 10-year run at this club, and you know what? If somebody had a couple of drinks too many at the end of the night, people would be like, "Oh yeah, that's just Larry. Yeah, just okay. So we'll get Larry home," and they would just help the guy get home, give him his keys, and then the next day he would go get his car. Now it's like, uh-oh.
Get an Uber though.
But well, now you can. But I mean, in those days, this was in the '90s. It all became about the cops being hostile. About no matter what it was, they're accusing you. You're going to the station no matter what, because they generate revenue off of that. So that made people more fearful about leaving the house. And now in a lot of cities, you can get shot any time of the day, like LA.
It doesn't matter where. Now, tell me about this. Yeah. Now, these cars that drive themselves, can you get in there if you're drunk, jump over to the passenger seat, and if they pull you over and just roll down the window, and they say, have you been driving? No, it's the car's driving itself. Can you get away with that?
Well, look, yes, but not for long, because here's how.
Step out of the car now. You get in, I'm too fucked up.
Here's something everyone in the world should take notice. If you don't learn anything else in this silly hour or half hour, whatever we're doing, the hackers and the technologists and inventors will always be a step ahead of law enforcement. You can count on that, because when the computer and the internet got happening and young kids could see that there was this amazing technical world, and they could have an identity, and they could go out and, you know, be under an alias and do all this stuff, then the government and the law enforcement and the, you know, Congress, all of that legislative stuff, it's all after the fact.
Yeah. NSA,
so, you know, with
NSA, you've heard of NSA.
Yeah, and you know, you have your self-driving car. Well, the first guy that, you know, which was probably you were working for Wazos or whoever. Huevos, the Mexican driving self-driving car.
There's one too.
Huevos, you know, the first couple of people will get away with it, but then they go back to the office, they file a report, then there's a committee, and the committee goes,
changes things.
We are now enacting anti-huevos, you know, alcohol breathalyzer.
But you say young people in
legislation.
this hacking and stuff, it's actually older people. They've been around, and you probably don't know this.
Kevin Miltnick?
Well, I'm gonna take you way, way, way
Beyond
back.
Kevin? He was the first.
There was 4 things that they created this internet with. It was off of magazine.
DARPA.
It was Archie, Jughead, Veronica.
And Betty, right?
They didn't have Betty in
No,
there.
Betty was in the Flintstones, I'm sorry.
No, really. And
Archie, Jughead, Veronica,
and that's how they created the internet. It used to be the intranet. Okay, so now you go step way forward now. All those who have really mastered this are now part of a group called Anonymous.
Oh yeah, the Guy Fawkes mask thing.
Yeah, but it's not just one guy.
Right.
It's multiple people around the
With
planet.
that same mask, yeah.
Yeah. Now, it goes back to, remember, what's his name? They had him on TV. It was Max Headroom.
Oh, Max Headroom.
Yeah, and that was
Oh man, he was on HBO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
He invented him, he was on HBO.
Yeah.
Man, boy, I really feel old, but yeah.
Yeah, remember that. Now
Yeah,
that's
because he was
where
like the first kind of internet-y robot dude.
Yeah, so that's how they created Anonymous, off of that look. So he comes on, he talks like this. We're into Trump's social security number, his telephone number. You know, it doesn't take them long, because no matter, if you're connected, they will get in.
Well,
there's nothing that could stop it.
You know, I spent quite a bit of time in Russia performing gigs and meeting people there, and you know, you could say one of two things right here. Rob loves Putin and he thinks Putin is the best leader. Now see, I didn't say that. All I said is I went to the country to play music.
Yes, and all of a sudden they got you all
And
twisted
I
around.
met a lot of the kids of the other musicians.
Of what you just said now, right?
And, you know, I would ask them, I would be like, you know, because the conditions are really rough for normal people. What are you going to do? Are you going to be a musician like your dad? Are you going to, you know, be an inventor? Every kid I talked to, and by kid I mean like high school age, they all wanted to just be hackers.
Yeah.
Because it was much more lucrative
Yes, you can make
to be
lot
a
of money.
hacker. And then, you know, in those years, this was 2005, 6, and 7, in those years, there wasn't really any way of policing that. And, you know, the internet and those, they call it the dark web.
Right.
The dark web forces are out there, and they're always continuously growing. And what I'm trying to get people to do is to just, you know, turn off the computer.
Yes.
And come down and let's play some music together.
Yeah, and that's what's so
Get
cool.
up there on the drums.
And jam out.
And let's jam. And, you know, we have certain guidelines about how jams work. There is a requirement list of songs that you need to learn.
And be ready to
And be ready to do. And then don't be shy. Come out and you know, have that experience.
Have you ever ran into somebody, and I know you have,
Yeah.
I'm completely unknown, and you've told me about a couple of them, they step up, and they go right to the stage with you and just, like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. You see the sax player.
Bad farts, you mean?
Yeah, really horrible.
Yeah, smell bad.
I over at Qdoba, and it's all beans. So.
No, it's happened a few times, and one of them was a girl who was 8 when I met her in L.A., and we were part of a comedy show that was being put on by a comic. Now, this is going to make me sound really old. His name is Tommy Davidson.
Oh, Lord.
And Tommy Davidson was on In Living Color with Jim Carrey.
Yes.
Right? And they were just kids, right? So anyway, Tommy Davidson went on to be this incredible stand-up guy. And if you've never seen Tommy Davidson impersonating Al Jarreau at McDonald's, that is one of the best YouTubes ever. He does a whole thing about, like, you know, here's when Muhammad Ali goes to McDonald's, here's when Al Jarreau goes to McDonald's, and he's great. So Tommy had a variety show, and we're backstage, and I MD'd or musical directed some of these shows, and Tommy would just have all these guests that he'd met, you know, at Fox TV and stuff, and he'd say, hey, let's get people over here to do a show. And we were on this gig. This little 8-year-old girl comes out there, and she's a little tiny thing, and I was like, man, I wonder who this is. And she's obviously like very black or very Jamaican or something, and her mom or guardian is obviously like really white and really Jewish. And I'm thinking, well, she must be good if she's 8 and she's got a white Jewish manager already. And she's 8. This is what I think. That's what I'm thinking to myself. And Tommy,
like the Platters, right?
Tommy says, okay, we're going to do Olivia, that's her name, Olivia Olson. And we're going to do I'll Be There, Michael Jackson, Jackson 5, original key. And we're going to segue, and it was The guy came on before her was Coolio. Do you remember Coolio?
Yeah, Coolio.
He was a bad dude.
Yeah.
So we had a Coolio medley, and then that all finished, and it's like boom, 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 boom. So I'm playing this little piano intro, and this little girl comes walking out. The place goes dark in the spotlight, and she's holding the mic, and the mic is like twice as big as her head. And she comes out and she starts singing, and it was just silence. I mean, it was complete silence. They were stunned at how good she was. So then, of course, people are crying as it gets to the end. You know, when you go to the bridge, the key the guy's part. Yeah. She sang the guy's part too.
No, wow.
Yeah, and then we get to the end.
She was on point, probably.
Oh, incredible. No music, no anything, like a total professional, and at the end, you know, standing ovation for 5 minutes. And so I'm talking.
You've had a couple of those.
Yeah, and I, you know, and so I'm talking with her mom, Kay, at the end of the thing, and I said, man, you're coaching her? She's taking lessons or whatever. She says, no, Olivia is just a natural talent.
And you see a lot of that.
Yeah. And we're trying to meet with an agent and get casting, and you know, I said, well, if you wanted to take piano lessons and learn these chords and stuff. So I became her music teacher.
Wow.
And the next thing that she did was a movie called Love Actually.
She's in the movie.
At the end of Love Actually, the little kid that sings the Mariah Carey song is Olivia Olson.
No, sir, I didn't know that.
She was like 11.
I did not know.
And then Liam Neeson, Olivia is at the end of the film, and that was one of those Hollywood stories that was amazing. Awesome. And then Olivia went on, and her dad, Martin, he was a fascinating guy, and he was also a piano player. E. Martin 88 was his like AOL handle, and he was a decent piano player. But we became friends, and he was the head writer for Sam Kinison.
Wow, I remember Sam Kinison.
Yeah, so Martin
screaming and stuff.
Yeah, crazy. But Martin was a comedy writer, and he had all of these connected things. And then Olivia was just so good. She got hooked up into a lot of stuff, and she ended up.
How old is she now?
Probably 23.
So she's back kicking ass too.
Well, she ended up doing Phineas and Ferb.
Whoa.
She's one of the characters, voiceover.
Oh yeah, that's
character.
I was going to tell you too. You're talking about Davison. I was watching him just the other day, as a matter of fact.
About who?
Davison.
Davison.
The stand-up comic.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So he was on.
Kinnison.
No, Davison.
Davidson.
He was part of.
Tommy Davidson. Yeah, Tommy.
Yeah.
He's the funniest guy ever.
He was. I was watching him the other day. He was doing
got a thing for McDonald's.
He was doing a thing of how blacks dance and how whites dance.
Mm-hmm.
And here's how blacks dance. He said, "Oh yeah, well don't cut down the whites. They're just doing free form." And he was like getting all. They're just doing free form, man. Free form.
They used to. Everybody. See, here's the problem. Everybody used to be able to laugh at themselves.
And have fun, yeah.
And have a good time, and no one really cared about it. And
now
everybody's so sensitive.
But you remember at the same time, it's like, what the geez.
Yeah, I mean, but there was like there was a Laker named Mark Madsen who was a white guy. He could not dance at all. He was so bad they made special movies of him, and they would show him to new guys on the Lakers. They don't ever try and dance like this. And then there was a movie called White Men Can't Jump.
I remember that, yeah.
And, you know, everybody just kind of took it with a grain of salt. And I have a lot of liberal friends. Most of the people in entertainment are lefty or far lefty. And I don't have a problem with that. Because...
You're ready for it.
We can disagree about things. People have different ideas. But at the end of the day, people need to be friendly and they need to respect each other. That's what I'm saying.
That's all that matters, right?
You know, well, that's a very important part of the whole thing. You know, people need to be friendly and they need to respect each other. So why don't you want to play a song? Do you have any Rob Mullins over there?
Of course.
Yeah, you'd better.
Oh, of course. What do you want to hear?
I don't know, something from the trio or something from...
You just name a song.
Well, let me look in the folder here. How about Riders on the Storm is good. I like that tune. You should have that. Oh, but we didn't name that in the computer.
It doesn't matter. You should find it.
Okay.
Yep. Oh, no, got the real one.
No, that's the wrong one.
But that's the real one.
Just type in Rob Mullins and let me see what's in there. Henry's got the vastest library on his computer. It's crazy. Rob Mullins, let's find something happy and upbeat since our depression in our conversation.
Depression.
Let's see. Not White Christmas. The Stream. Little Pitch. VL for Henry. Keep going. Oh, At the Club is a nice kind of fun little dumb tune. Or Up in the Sky. That's a good one. Right there. 05 Up in the Sky. Now that tune's cool. That's one from the Two of Hearts album.
Let's pick a second one.
Okay, At the Club.
Where do you see that one?
Right there. Oh wait, that's from the same album.
Okay. Where did I put the other one?
Yeah.
Up in the Sky, right?
Up in the Sky. Let's go up in the sky. Yeah. That'd be cool.
Oh, I like this song. I like this song. So what we'll do, just so we don't get Facebook always catches me for copyright infringements, even though you're here.
Right.
So we just talk while it plays.
Oh yeah, because you don't want to pay me my royalties.
No, it's like 39 cents.
I want it.
Okay. You always ask.
No, we can talk over. It's fine. I'm gonna get my phone. I just been charging my phone here.
So you've been listening to Rob Mullins here on KUHS Radio and TV. A special guest. He's always here. We just love to chit chat and talk about all the things that go on in the world. Now he was telling me,
entertainment business, especially, and you know the funny thing about this Facebook deal. See if I can find that post. I think Facebook is really important for marketing.
Right.
Even if you're a young person doing music marketing, you need Facebook. And when I say that at a workshop, most of the kids are like, yeah, they look down and like,
well, TikTok.
I don't do Facebook because I only do Instagram.
Or TikTok.
Yeah, and you know who's not on Instagram and TikTok?
Who?
The people who can write the check to pay for your album. They're not on Instagram. They're on Facebook.
See, we're on every platform, but the TikTok thing is getting kind of edgy. Like I was showing you the kind of stuff that's coming through. We have another guy on. His name's Paul Lane.
Oh,
Had
yeah.
like 127,000 things,
People.
but it was getting really heated in there.
Yeah.
So I said, pull that off.
Sometimes you have to yank it.
Yeah, because if it gets too out of hand, it could be detrimental to our.
Well, you want everybody to have a sense of humor.
Yes.
Don't take everything so literally, and don't take things so personally. And the other thing, since I'm on my old guy soapbox, read the whole paragraph.
Do that again for the drama class.
Excuse me. I'll be back. No.
Rob, no.
Read the whole paragraph. Read the whole story. Put everything in context when you see it, because the internet is designed for you to have an emotional reaction out of context and then stay on the treadmill of the dopamine.
So let me tell you about this too.
Yeah,
We
I'm
did
looking
this-
at this Facebook post.
Oh no, go ahead. We did this with Paul Lane.
Yeah.
We were both wearing over some trench coats. I said, let's do something coming out of the elevator.
That's
What's
not
that?
good.
Hot boy. Yeah.
This post on February So here with this people. To see your Facebook post. Two accounts, the main one. Read it. And what I'm saying, and I'm talking about towards the Grammys. I don't agree with everything about on Facebook, is they'll sit there and they'll say, well, I hate the Grammys.
To
1,200.
you had to go back there and read.
I got 1,200 people. And the comments were 136, but see, that doesn't count the Facebook hate messages in Messenger, which was hundreds.
Oh
I hate Messenger.
Yeah.
I'm
not on Messenger, but I can talk to it via Google.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you've got a little bit of a security buffer
yes, a lot
in there, which really helps you. But, you know, my point to these people that complain, it's like, okay, so you don't like the Grammys, start your own organization, and you try and raise the money, and you put your thing together, and if it becomes as important and more important than the Grammys to me, I'll pay to join it. I'm not stopping you from making the better organization. But what I hate about it is that now people are just jumping on anything that they can hate, and then they'll spend their entire day hating. And at the end of the day, those are the people you don't want to drive home in traffic in the lane next to them.
That's what I was telling you.
And you don't want to be at, you know, 7-Eleven when they're out of beer and you're next to that person who's been hating
you
for
that
bars.
guy that was online a while ago.
You
I didn't look like him.
You don't, you know, and it's not healthy for society. Like, the amount of hours that people are online is insane.
Would you say nowadays, the way everybody has guns and doing all this thing, it's now who's faster to draw, like the Western days? It's how fast you are. And some of these women can really draw fast.
And you're not talking about art class, are you?
No.
Well, there's a lot of schools of thought on that, and I don't really have any comments about anything that involves guns, except I don't like them. You know,
how about Guns N' Roses?
Guns N' Roses, Axl Rose. I like Axl Rose, man. You know, and what's funny too is that at the Grammys, Yoko and John's son, I can't remember which one he is, the little guy.
Yeah.
He got out there and he was talking about, you know, my dad and the Beatles. They won this like retro Grammy that was made with AI called Now and Then. And you know, the record company sent me a huge cassette promo. It was I mean, it was as big as your keyboard, the promo they sent me in the mail. And I was thinking to myself, well, it probably is good to remind people that there are the Beatles, because I get students that might be immigrants from other countries that are 25, and if I ask them who the Beatles are, there's a chance they never heard that music. There's a good chance.
Let me ask you this,
So
Rob.
I'd be turning them onto it.
Have you ever thought of this? And it just kind of rolled through my mind.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of doing like Michelle and all this, about 2 or 3, 4 Beatles songs within your repertoire?
Yeah.
And then jazz it up and fire it out there?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of that?
Yeah, Warner Brothers came to me with that idea, and I got kicked off the label for not doing it.
You gotta try it. Just you know,
No.
and kind of switch it, kind of rearrange it to fit Rob Mullins.
See, I don't, you know,
Come on.
No, I'm not doing it. And part of why I won't do it is because I don't like tribute bands.
Oh.
And you see these bands that are out there, you know, it's
Tribute to this.
there's a couple local ones. It's like tribute to Luther Vandross, tribute to Stevie, tribute to this, tribute to that. how I view that is that the people in those bands have never composed songs of their own. That
Never arranged the music.
Never arranged them, never paid to record them, never got them on
Nothing.
the radio. They don't have any creativity. They're capitalizing on someone else's fame for money.
That's right.
I've never been that guy.
Well, I know.
I
that.
would
was
rather
just
go out
asking
and
you
play
if you
my
ever-
songs. Now, a cover project, if it were done right with a group of people, would be excellent. Like, if I was going to do covers of somebody, it wouldn't be the Beatles, because to me, that's just like digging up their graves. Because you cannot make a better Strawberry Fields. I'm sorry.
No, I'm with you. I'm
You're
with you.
not making a better Help. You're not
There's
making
been a couple that come out that they were touring as the Beatles, but you go watch them,
No,
it just doesn't.
and you know, I listened to Now and Then, and it was kind of AI and fakey. And you know, Paul McCartney was on this SNL 50th anniversary thing. Did you watch that? It was
Yes.
last weekend, and
That Saturday Night Live thing was,
it was insane.
it's outstanding.
It was outstanding.
Yes.
Yeah.
They had, I put that at least $50 million, at least.
Oh, just to put that night on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least for the 50 years. And man, this had to cost some bucks.
Well, the archiving part of
Even
it.
20 million. I mean, I was just looking at it. All these artists, I mean, they have to, you're going to give them some money to be there and to get them there, to make them be there.
Right, and then, you know, well, that was the same thing as the technical side of the
That too.
fire aid in Los Angeles
Yeah.
they did right before the Grammys, and the Grammys, that was technical perfection in a community where half of those guys that work on the trucks and run the broadcast equipment and the cameras and the lights and the computers and the mic placement, those guys are homeless living at the Salvation Army. The week
Putting this
before,
on.
they were living in a $15 million mansion
That's
house.
right, yes.
Now that the Salvation Army's sleeping on a cot next to somebody that's got HIV or something, and they're showing up to work to produce the
This show,
Grammys.
yes. Now here's another
Now, see,
thing.
that's a thing. Like, people don't think about that.
Well, here's what I was thinking. If Trump would have just slowed down with his ICE crap and stuff, this Mexican guy came out and says, look at all this. It's going to take him 20 years to rebuild this. We said we'd do it in 2 weeks. But no, we got to leave. I can't believe I said that. Well, it's true. They work hard, and they can work countless hours.
There is an advantage and a strong point to every cultural group in the world.
That's right.
And the way I learned this is going around the world with Hubert Laws
And seeing things.
in a band that was black and white mixed musicians and Puerto Rican and Venezuelans. I mean, Hubert is not discriminatory.
That's right.
He hires the best people for the chair. And you go around to these other countries and you learn the cultures and you learn the way that people do stuff, and you respect what their artistic contributions are coming into that culture, and you can feel the success when you're with the president of another country, like when we were in Luanda, Africa. The president is the guy that took us all around, president of the country.
It ain't like that guy that Eddie Murphy was on Coming Back to America.
Oh, Coming to America.
That's not Rwanda, that's not that.
No. No. No,
Sorry,
but
Rob, I had to go there.
well, Coming to America #1 was a fantastic film, and 2 was awful. #1 was Arsenio and Eddie Murphy.
Those
And
two are
remember
good,
Arsenio, the dog pound and all that stuff. It was really fun, but where I feel bad for younger people now is that since you don't have the sense of community really coming from the school, and you don't have it coming from the church, and a lot of people don't play sports now, and then the music programs are all suffering, so not enough people in band and choir, and then you know, they don't really go on tour that much unless it's a really lucky school gets to send their band to Norway, the exchange programs. Back in the day when I was a kid, that was constant.
That was a thing.
Everybody was traveling to other countries,
I remember
and not
that.
on a small scale. It wasn't
Big.
like you had to go to DU and then you pay the extra money. It was like, you know,
You're going.
Yeah, Denver Public Schools, man.
All the time.
We went all over
And
the
you
place.
know, I remember you from that. It was the jazz band. What was the jazz band? It was a city band?
Citywide Jazz Band.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Citywide jazz band.
Citywide Jazz Band.
And you made it popular. Everybody
Yeah.
said, you went and checked them out. I go, there's this guy, he's a keyboard player. I said, who is he?
Yeah.
Go check it out.
Yeah.
You go up there and check it out. he was on fire. It's like, that's what made the band.
Well, yeah.
Come on, admit it.
I did have, in that same band was one of the world's most talented female singers, Diane Reeves.
Yes.
Because she
you're getting to.
She went to GW.
Yes, all these things were in this band.
And they all came together.
And all the combination of superstars, Rob, Diane, all these big quality.
I mean, Andy Stevens, the clarinet player, sax, he was incredible.
You remember this, and this, everybody talked about it, and I go, what is it? And you guys used to play outside sometimes.
All over the place. We were constantly doing gigs, and that was a high school all-star band, and we were playing a lot of jazz festivals, which was great. And you don't see that much of that now. So I think the biggest fear that I have at this moment, and I haven't really talked about it much publicly, but what I fear is the funding being cut to NPR.
Oh, that's right.
And PBS.
Yes.
Because I know, regardless of who over my lifetime, I kind of learned, doesn't really matter whose political party is in power, jazz musicians aren't going to do better. We're always not going to do any better. If that's a weird thing to say after being on this planet that many years. But man, these stations that are NPR stations are very important to
and they're going to try
to us artists.
And they're going to try to kill us.
And I don't listen to NPR news at the top of the hour every hour. And I don't agree with all the news that's on Fox, and I don't agree with all the news that's on CNN, because it doesn't matter to me.
Crazy.
I want community of artists to get together and people to have their vibe raised to a higher
different
tone.
level. Yes.
Yeah. Let's play another song.
That's what I was going to do, but the thing had.
Don't you know how to use a computer?
Well, it was sitting there too long.
There's a computer guy in the back.
You'll take
from
care
Gee Whiz Computers. We'll get him out here to teach you what you're doing.
There you go. It's coming back up. There you go.
So anyway, the gig is this coming Saturday, March 1 at the Muse in Lafayette. And you can find out more details on my website, planetmullins.com. You can find me on my Facebook page. You can also look up Muse Performance Space. And it's in Lafayette, a little city right outside of Boulder. They got a wonderful room there. Pete Lewis and Claire Church run it. I played there one time. It's a fantastic space. Good piano, which I like, and I'm there with my new quartet with Taylor Clay on sax, and it's BK Khan on drums and Seth Lewis on bass. And talk about whippersnappers that are great. These guys are like all under 30, and they're playing like,
young whippersnappers.
Yeah, they're great players, and we're featuring a lot of music from my various albums, of which I've done now quite a few. So, but it's fun having guys in the band that are this talented, because I can just show them the book, and I've got recordings from them. Hey, how do you feel about this being like maybe a bass feature? Would you like to be featured on this during the show? Yeah, man,
they're ready for it.
And they'll pick something that they really like out of my library. And then that way, when we go do the gig, that player who's being featured is really passionate about playing that song, because that's their favorite.
That's what they like.
Well, a lot of band leaders aren't that way, at all.
Which song did you want? They were going to play.
Oh, we were going to do At the Club.
I had that up.
Yeah, it's right. Wonderful World, go down or across a little more. Oh, Chameleon's good. Let's play Chameleon. Up. Chameleon, right there. 06 Chameleon. That's a great song.
Okay.
Yeah, let's play Chameleon.
So we're going to close out this show, a full hour of Rob Mullins. I'm glad you were a part of our show. Rob always brings the best.
We had so much fun, man. We talked about a lot of things.
And you needed to get this out, because it's crucial to this
artistic community.
In this atmosphere of craziness, like you said. We started out talking about the craziness of what's going on
in the world.
In the world, it's like
and keeping the arts going, building your following. Come to the workshop. I'm going to explain how I do all of that. And Henry, it's always a pleasure, man. I had a great time seeing you as usual. And we're going out with Chameleon from my This Way Up record. All right, so I'll plan on seeing everybody Saturday, March the 1st. Have a nice night.
So this will be playing on the radio. You won't hear us no longer, only hear on the live video feed.
Oh.
See y'all later. Thanks for being part of us, Mr. Rob Mullins.
Henry A.
Make sure you get out to the Muse this weekend, Saturday, from 2 to
3:30 and 7 o'clock's the show. And we're going to give away some KHS tickets
That's right, don't forget.
between now and Saturday.
Yeah, now
So
and
stay
Saturday.
tuned to KUHS. That's right.